Welcome back to NailBabePod, a podcast where I get to interview all the nail babes of the nail world. I'm your host, Abe, the Nail Babe, a full-time nail content creator. This week, my nail babe is the fabulous Lauren from Inspo by Nails. She's best known for nail art tutorials and using super high quality Korean gels. She's also a full-time nail creator, but has worked for a gel brand behind the scenes in product development. She's recently been licensed as a nail tech and for a while had a nail bar franchise, which I didn't realize was a thing until today. We break down some different types of gel paint versus gel polish, why you'd use certain products to get certain effects. And we also talk about ambassadorships at the end, which I think is a fascinating discussion, especially if you are in the nail creator world and thinking about working with brands. But without any further ado, oil those cuticles and lotion your hands. And welcome Lauren to the pod. I am so excited to welcome Lauren from Inspo by Nails on everywhere.
Hi, it's nice to be here.
Nice to meet you too. I am obsessed with all of your nail art. We're going to get into it, but you do so much experimenting. If anyone's watching the video, all of these Korean, what are these gels behind you? It's like the pointy. I want these gels so bad.
The pointy ones are Tiny Korea.
Tiny.
Yes, those are the tiny bottles. They are super tall, but Korean packaging, can't be beat. So
it's so good.
It's so good. I mean, that's part of the joy of it, but the products inside, wow. Just wow. Yeah.
That's what I've heard, that also the quality is really good.
Amazing. So my account probably now is 90% is Korean and Japanese brands at this point. So you don't see a ton of domestic products on my page anymore. But I think that's the danger of them. You get addicted to them because they're pretty amazing.
Well, it seems like I was always people tell me, Asia and I feel like that's the Korean nails. Everything seems like all the nail trends come from Asia, right? Do you follow the Korean nail trends and all that?
I think that definitely some do. The syrup gels is what I call them, but people would be like, what's this called? It's blush or whatever. It's because that's the formula. So you get this glassy lip gloss looking nail. They did it before anyone else, but also way better than anyone else. Not streaky. It's very easy. So I think what I usually am using makes people's life easier, which is why I like to share it, because it takes some of the guesswork out,
For sure. I feel also, you get PR from these people, right? Or are you buying all of the gels?
No, I mean, some I purchase, but I do work with Syllabue and I also work with Sweetie Nail Supply a lot. So I am fortunate enough to be a brand ambassador for both. I work also a little bit more with Sweeties on the backside a little bit, but that's from my previous history. So I'm not sure people know that, but I worked in product development with the gel company for 3 years.
Oh,
yeah.
Wait, okay. Oh, yeah. I want to go back and get the whole, because also I was listening to your interview with Claude Gasmic, I believe, and you were talking about your degrees, and I'm like, wait a minute, what's this all about? So I'm interested in all of this. I like to have people give us their SparkNote versions of how they got into nail polish. So my example I give is simply nailogical, COVID boredom, and self-expression.
That quick?
Hey, we're in TikTok Reels business here.
This is true. We got to break this down to a 10-second reel. So that would be always artistic, always creating. Didn't like owning a private franchise
salon.
It was healthy, but very bougie, but I didn't like that. So got licensed myself only 4 years ago and knew the general manager of this gel polish company and knew I was going to go work for them. So for about a year, it was on the wholesale side, knowing what nail professionals need. And then 2 years, it was product development. So I'm very picky. I have no problem saying I don't like something. And why? So for my goal for those 2 years was to make sure that nothing in their collections was not like the others or not performing as well as the others. So that picky eye they had for about 2 years. Yeah.
Oh, that's fascinating. That sounds like a fun job. You just like playing around with the products all day.
And, working with manufacturers, telling them what they could improve, what we were looking for, that kind of thing. It was a great job. Yeah. For a while. Yeah.
So what were you doing before? You were just going to salons and getting your nails done? Like,
no, I've always done my own.
Okay.
I don't know why. I did my friends. Like, I've always liked doing nails, but I do like tiny detailed pieces of art. And I'm, like I said, I'm super picky. I think it's why I couldn't get a tattoo or something. Like, if there was one line, it would drive me nuts the rest of my life. So no, I did them myself. I was a DIYer forever.
Okay. It's also, if people don't follow you, like people need to go look because you have like super detailed, like tiny, beautiful designs, like in using all these different products. So then what also, you said you got licensed just recently too. What drew you to do that?
Honestly, I was curious because I felt like when I had the nail franchise, like I knew more about nails than some of my licensed technicians. And I am in Florida. It's not a very rigid state to go get licensed in. Like I feel like all that needs upgrading in a way. Things are so different now, than when these state courses were developed, that the nail world just evolved so quickly. And I feel like there's so much out there that I see it all the time. People are like, things I wish I had learned in nail school. Like, I don't think it's necessarily, this might be controversial, but some of the best nail people I know are not licensed. Like, it's because of their love and passion for nails that they do all this independent learning. And that's where they're getting these amazing skills. So, but for my own legitimacy, and I do like school, I went and got licensed. So, yeah, that was the only reason. I didn't need it for anything particularly, but I wanted to see what was going on there.
I feel like I've heard that from other nail techs and like nail creators too, that like in nail school, you don't necessarily learn exactly the techniques you need in a day to day, but it's more about like sanitation and all these other things.
Right.
And then what you're really learning, you have to do after and like from other people that also, because I feel like same with like nail creators and like we are constantly trying to do something new and exciting online and like have the time to experiment. I imagine for like a full-time nail tech, like you're trying to get clients, you're trying to like make that hustle. Like you don't have time to like, I wonder what texture gel is, like you don't have time for that.
I don't think they do. I think that's one of the luxuries that we do have if we're a creator at home or, have the flexibility to do that. I sit and play all day long. Like that's what I do. And I feel very happy that I'm able to do that because I know there's people that are like, I just need a day. Although to them, I say, take that day. Take a day for yourself. If that's what you want to do and you need to get your creative juices flowing, there's never a perfect time. Carve out a few hours and just play and enjoy it. It'll rejuvenate your joy, So I'm a proponent of that. To me, that's self-care. If that's what you want and that's what you're missing, then do it. And you can DM me. I'm an open book. I'll help you with whatever you're working on during your time that you take off, like to go play. Let me know.
Yeah, it's not selfish to work on yourself or do something for you. Like that's, like you said, rejuvenating you and like replenishing. I feel like I've heard this. If you have like a cup of water and you keep giving and giving your water, like you don't have anything to fill up. You need to refill your cup to keep giving, right? Like you need something to replenish. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you full-time nail creator?
I am.
Okay, nice. Same.
I am. I am. Could I be doing it better? Probably.
Well, I mean, that's like...
But yes, I am. It's what I love, and I will continue to try and do that. Yeah.
I feel like literally you saying, I feel like I could do it better is like the sentiment that everyone says. Because like we all just feel like, oh no, I'm not doing it. I need to be posting here. I need to be doing this. Like I could be working more on my affiliate. It's just like, we're doing the best we can. Like
it's true.
There's always something new that's like you could do more. But okay, so wait, did you mention nail franchise?
Mm-hmm.
What is that?
It was like a nail bar that was like 10 free. Like
okay.
So that was it, but it was a franchise.
And
I owned one.
Oh,
down
okay.
in St. Pete. Yeah. But
Okay.
what I realized was that it took me away from all the fun stuff I loved about nails, so that was not the avenue that I wanted to continue. So it's still there. It's a beautiful nail salon, etc. It's just not mine anymore. And
Mm.
I wanted to be more involved in nail art. That's my thing, so yeah.
Okay. I didn't realize that they have, I guess that makes sense that they have nail salon franchises. How was that
It's
process?
it's relatively new,
Yeah.
because they're trying to get away from the, in and out in 10 minutes and using any which products, etc. So they are very much concerned with nail safety and like there's no whirlpools, like that kind of thing. So it's very nice. It just took me to an administrative side where I really wanted to be on more creative side because I'm always creating, whether it's nails or something else. That's been a constant in my life. So yeah, that's all. But it's really cool.
Yeah. What did you study?
I have my undergraduate and master's degree in psychology, counseling psychology, and my PhD is in distance education and instructional technology. So that's maybe where the teaching comes in.
I was gonna say, I was like wondering how this education like plays in your life now. I know I went to Cornell for architecture. It's like I just graduated last year. And sometimes I have an internal struggle that I need to not care about. That it's like I did all this time, like did 5 years. It was not like PhD, but like even that, I'm just like I spent all that time and like effort and money and like, and now I'm quote unquote just painting my nails, which makes me
You
happy.
and I could just high five on that, Abe, because, like, I feel like people still probably have that view about me too, just because I'm highly educated. But it also doesn't mean that we can't do what we love. And what I love is creating. I feel all of that schooling, everything else comes into play, whether it's when you're communicating with people, whether you're seeing certain lines a different way due to your specialized field. It all matters. And our journeys, I think, some things that didn't work out for me or that I didn't love or things that changed that at the time I felt loss about, I'm grateful for them. And I just keep pushing forward and not thinking about like, oh yeah, that was a lot of money I spent on my education and it's not particularly, like, but it's part of me. So who cares what we do? I think people need to focus on being happy. And if you're happy doing what you're doing, what's wrong with that? Nothing.
I agree.
Yeah. That's
It's
amazing.
yeah. I know. And it's also like, who knows if I would have been here if I didn't have this degree or like spend all these nights, long nights, like working on these projects. Like I wouldn't have my perspective or my viewpoint on nail art or nail painting my nails or this world if I didn't have that experience. So, I mean, I think I'm for people doing what they want. It doesn't, just because you study something or even just like at a job for how many years doesn't mean you have to do that for the rest of your life.
No, I agree 100%. And I do think it all is part of our personality. It's all it created. Like you said, a scenario where you're like, I need a break. So what was your break? Painting your nails. So that led to this. It's part of your journey. I think that's amazing. Yeah. But you're right. No one knows that about me either. Like they're like, oh, Lauren, yeah, that's inspired by nails. She just does some nail art every day, which I do. But yeah, we're all people in the background. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's also what I love about this podcast too, that I'm like getting to hear the background and like how that informs people's online personas. So I guess it makes sense that you have like this education side, right? Because you do a lot of lives, very like a lot of tutorials, right? I guess
Yeah.
would you classify your content as tutorials?
I mean, I did when like 30 seconds actually used to get a view. Now they're like, fast
Okay.
tutorials. But I do still think I'm trying to show you something in each reel that I put up. And I'm consistent. If you don't see me posting, I probably died or something because I at least post every day, if not twice a day.
Really?
So on Instagram, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and that's my main platform. I mean, I'm trying to share on others, but like, I think I have 10 TikTok followers. I don't know. Like, so it's, like, I put it up there, but like it's not going to really take off. But I do have a love of Instagram. It's my favorite platform. And I think it's probably because of tools that they could provide for me. Like I have a subscription, so and it's pretty reasonable. And I go live for them at least once a week, sometimes more. And we do looks, like in real time. So like any questions, I love helping people get excited like I am about products. So I just don't mind sharing. Yeah.
I love that. And also you worked for a nail polish brand behind the scenes. So what were you doing with that?
So basically I was assisting in product development. Okay. So I would receive ideas from manufacturers for collections and they would have to pass the Lauren test. So I am super, super picky. I do have access to lots of beautiful brands and I know what I like and I know what we need in the industry as to make people's life easier. So that was my goal, to try and build products that had similarities to ones that I think are top tier products and color coordination and everything else, that kind of thing.
What do you think makes a good polish?
I want, and we are talking, so once I went gels, I kind of never went back.
Okay. Also, wait, I do want to ask. I just say polish. I don't know the actual, people are like lacquer. I'm like, what am I supposed to say?
No, I think polish to me is gel polish, is regular polish. And then I call gels.
Just gels.
Usually. Yeah.
I feel like I say polish for everything and then I'll be like gel polish or regular polish. I don't know. People will, in my comments, they're like, I'm like, can we just... I'm like, I put the name in the description. Look it up. I don't know.
No one reads those.
I don't. It's so frustrating.
I try and put all the information in there too. And I get the same question, especially on one that's done well, and 90% of the time I just answer again in the comments and I answer again. And it did make me decide that people really don't read it. It's in there, I promise.
Also, I just don't like the look of you can't have all the text and information on the video itself. I'm like, that's not, and to show the name, sometimes I just feel like I'm like, I can't, this is not the vibe of the video I'm going for. So it's but yeah, I still I remember all my viral ones. I remember the name of the polish because so many times I've commented what it is.
Yeah, I know. But that's okay. But I have not used a regular nail polish since nail school.
Really?
You have to learn how to polish nails with regular nail polish, which I just find gel, there's some good things and bad things about it. The good thing is you have time, right? So for art, I have time with gel polish nothing's done until I stick it in that lamp, right? But I can't.
And then when you put it in the lamp, it's done. You don't have to worry about smudging it or breaking it. And yeah.
Exactly, right? So that's a great thing. I would say as a creator, it's a little bit harder because I can't do my nails. I mean, you don't want to see my hands anymore, but it looks like a little, give the girl some cream or something, but that's neither here nor there. It's why they're always decorated nicely. So you can focus on the design. So, but I wouldn't be taking on and off gel polish anyway. I leave mine on my reels for probably at least 3 weeks. You see the same manicure slowly starting to grow out in all my reels. So it tells you that's how much I work though. That is current. And that's what I'm currently doing, is trying to come up with something unique or interesting or something maybe someone hasn't tried yet and make it accessible to all. So, yeah.
And that's kind of what you were doing in the back end of making sure the products were opaque, probably. I mean, that.
Yeah. If it's a cream, it needs to be opaque. I don't want to have to put on 3 layers of a gel polish for it to be opaque. To me, that's so, yeah. And there's different things. Like I said, the Korean brands, they have special things that they do that I honestly think if you want that look, you need a Korean brand to do it. They're just very good at certain things that we haven't seemed to get right in our domestic gels.
Really? So, what?
Yeah. The syrup look per se is definitely one. If you use a tiny Korea syrup or a yogurt gel Korea syrup or something like that, you are going to get a perfect milky looking nail in one coat. You
Mm.
can use two if you want, but there's not going to be a streak. They're so beautiful and so easy to use. They save you time. And if you're a working nail tech, time is money, so it's like me talking about gel paints compared to gel polish. It's like, that's what I more or less get into, is like how to save you time with different products, because I really do feel they help everyone. So that's what I usually try and show. Yeah.
Well, I want to get into all the different types of products. I don't know if this is kind of like, I'm like, break it down for all of us. I was experimenting with textured gel, my recent viral video that like everyone's
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
I did the like tweed textured nails, which I feel like came out really cute, but like people are not liking.
They don't?
No, they were just like, I don't, it's like a very mixed response. You're like, can you encapsulate that? And I'm like, no, like that's not the point.
No.
But
No,
like,
not for tweed.
yeah, and I did try to put a top coat on and it just lose the texture because you can't see.
So the tip for that is, if you wanted to put like a matte top coat on it or something like that, you do brush it on real thin, but then you take a sponge, dab the excess off, and it keeps the texture, but you still have that matte finish on it.
Oh, and it's just like a little bit less texture potentially.
No, it should look
Oh,
exactly the same. Yeah, I wore them. And I guess, it is, anything that's different does take a little time. I think Fiote came out with textured gels like that in a bottle.
oh,
Yeah, at least a year ago, maybe
this
not
was the
two.
function of Vex. Do you
Yeah,
use? Yeah,
I
that
know
was they
exactly.
sent it to me. But I wanted to, I'm like, what are the different types of gel product? We have the textured, we have a gel paint, and like, can you educate us? Like, help give us like a Spark Note versions of like what they are and like
Yeah.
why you would use a gel paint versus just a gel polish.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, there are some gel polishes that people paint with. If you're doing an abstract nail, or you're doing some big areas of the nail, or just a French tip on a nail, use a gel polish, right? There's some amazing ones out there. If you want to hand paint characters, if you want to hand paint the tiniest ivy or holly or that kind of thing, you want a gel paint. And the reason why is the viscosity of it's different. So on a tiny, tiny liner that has like three hairs, a gel paint is going to stick to those three hairs beautifully. A gel polish is going to start working its way down those little hairs, create a bead down in the center of your brush. You're going to, like that. There's little tiny things like that. So, and gel paint is not going to go anywhere. So you could paint all kinds of details and it's not flowing on the nail at all. It's going to stay exactly where you stroked it on the nail. So it's just basically a time saver. And for people who want to do precision work, gel paint is the way to go. Yeah.
Okay, because I think I did get some like gel paint palettes. I don't even know if they're high quality or I should use them, but I tried to do the whole nail and I'm like, this is not. I think I just was not using it the way it was intended to be used. So it was
No, I
harder.
think I think that it probably wasn't great,
Yeah.
because I think I had some of that and I was like,
Yeah, it wasn't right. But I think that is the like I think that is a key aspect though, is to leverage properties of the product to its best potential, right? Like if you wouldn't do like you said all these tiny details with a really flowing gel because it's just going to move everywhere and blend together versus like you
exactly.
wouldn't want to paint the whole nail with a gel paint because it's going to be super thick and hard to get really smooth and
Right, exactly. And different products, let's just face it, they different products are great at different things. I don't think one brand is perfect at everything. And I think that's okay. But knowing what you need for the job is huge.
mm,
I think so. Yeah.
yeah.
That's one thing I did love about product development. And I feel like there's other companies that could use a picky person like me. Like, to before saying that's it, like, give it your best shot. I'll tell you which one needs improvement. Let's fix it, then release it. That's the kind of thing. So yeah.
Yeah. And I think also, I don't know, maybe because when I communicate with brands, obviously I'm going through a PR person or marketing agency sometimes too, where like that person doesn't paint their nails. Definitely not as much as we do.
Mhm.
So sometimes I feel like there is a communication barrier if they're the ones like trying to come up with ideas for nail art. I'm like, you don't, why are you telling me how to do this?
There's a disconnect a lot of times.
Yeah.
You're right.
And probably the same with the product development. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if they even have someone like I was doing, like, I don't know. Yeah. I don't see advertisements for that position anywhere. So I don't know. I don't know.
Well, this is everyone can reach out to us. We'll tell you what needs work. Yeah, because we've like I think that's also a good thing about being a creator, obviously. Like we see a lot. Like we know what's good and what's bad.
We do. We have a lot to compare that to and a lot of experience with different products, which is kind of incredible, actually. Yeah.
I did want to hear like also because you do like a lot of like inks and all these things that are like very like it's just like, oh, like little ink, do done. It's like this beautiful thing that's like so easy. And I'm like I want to hear like if you have other products like this that like you think people are sleeping on or like don't even know that it's like this one of your like favorite gel techniques or products that you think people don't even know about.
I'm definitely an ink junkie.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I've loved alcohol inks. I just feel like, I don't know, I think they're creative and I think that they're so easy to use. But again, not all inks are created equal.
Okay.
So that is one tip. The other thing is, and this is a sleeper product that maybe that you guys don't know about. Since last year, maybe the Korean companies came out with inks. They're not really alcohol inks. They're almost like instant watercolor, and they are so much fun. You do not need to use a matte top coat. You can just slap it on the nail. They're really fun. So I love those two. I would say one of my biggest pluses is I'm definitely versatile. So you see a lot of different things on my page. So I don't just stick with one thing. I will be like, I miss hand painting. I miss making jewelry, nail jewelry. Like I'll jump all over the place because I do kind of love it all. You don't usually see characters with me because I can't fit that in 10 seconds. But sometimes myself, I like to just sit there and practice all the hand painting too, so.
Like
yeah.
Realistic portrait kind of thing?
Yeah, not really portraits. I'm no
like
Tim.
Characters.
Like he's pretty poor,
Okay.
Tim, yeah, no. But yeah, like more detailed, really detailed work, but I still love that. I just don't, and I don't know if everyone feels like they could do that. I feel like everybody could if you practice, but not everybody has the time to do that. Yeah.
Well, I feel like that is also something that I think about is the like, are people actually doing what I'm showing? Is this an entertaining video? Is it a tutorial? Like, what is the purpose of my video? And sometimes I feel like I get comments if it's just like some entertaining, like the textured nail. It was not really me showing you how to get this look. It was just me being like, I did this. Isn't it weird? Like, what do you think?
Right.
And it was fun and people liked it. But then I feel like I get questions being like, well, what did you do in like this? And I'm like, well, this wasn't that.
Right. Don't overthink it.
I'm curious, like, what if you think about the medium of the video and like the tutorial or the entertaining video, if that like changes the way you do something or show something or products that you use? Like, is it more about the nail or is it more about the video? For me, it's most of the time more about the video if it's entertaining.
See, you're good at that.
But I feel like you're good at making the nail look great. So maybe that's
mine's more about the nail.
Okay,
like,
yeah.
I just don't. I'm not great at the editing or like coming up with. I don't know if your guests have ever said this, but like for me, when it's time to do my nails, like too many options renders me useless. Like, yeah.
I completely agree.
Yeah, usually my goal is, I want to show this look. So how did I achieve it? Blah, blah, blah. So mine's more about the look than it is the video, I guess.
Okay.
And I could probably really improve on that other end. Like I'd love to be somewhere in the middle, but we're all work in progress.
I mean, it's just a different approach to videos, right? And I think that is useful for people to actually show you how to do the look. Where like a lot of the stuff I'm like, this is boring. You don't need to see me do that. And then it's just like, but that was a crucial step. But I'm like, I don't need to show it.
Yeah, I
So it's
cut
like,
a
wait.
lot out now
Oh
because you
yeah.
have to. I mean, you
Yeah.
have to. Like, I don't want people to be bored. I do definitely think about that.
Okay.
And it's kind of true that I keep my looks pretty easy. Like, they're
Okay.
not difficult. Even if the end result seems complicated, usually what I'm showing is not.
Okay. Yeah, because I wanted to say, I was like, what processes or products like have that, like, it's super easy, but like have the biggest return?
Inks are definitely one.
Okay.
Okay. And another one that I will mention, and I've never seen anything like it before in my life, is the Canvas Gel collection from Deok, Korea.
Okay.
It is like, it looks like oil paints. There are 26 in the collection. And what you can do with these gels, they dry immediately. The texture that you achieve with them looks like an impressionistic fine art in minutes. Like, my Deok Canvas Gel reels are not sped up that much. Like, it's just swipe, 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 layer it, and you're like, what? Like, so when something like that comes out, it's really exciting, because it's incredible and the results are amazing. And everybody I've seen who've used them, like beginners to, advanced artists, the results are beautiful every time. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like I need that.
I feel like I'll send you a link and you'll be like, wait, what? Because you'll feel like Picasso in like very quickly. And if I see somebody, and I try and do this for all my people that follow me or ask me questions or say, hey, I bought this. Thanks, Inspo by Nails. Like, I'm going to try this. I always try and encourage and always let people know that I'm around. If you have questions, when you have this set and you're looking at it, like, what am I supposed to do with this? Let me know. I'm there to help you. Like, I like that. I like helping other people.
Yeah, that's nice. I think also because I sometimes feel a pressure when like someone buys something because I like showed it and then they don't use it or they didn't understand like or the special step that I didn't explain perfectly in like the cleanup brush I just posted. People are like, am I supposed to dip this in acetone? I'm like, yes, please. You have to dip it. Like you have to clean it. I'm like, I have other videos that explained it. This was just a satisfying cleanup video. So yes, please ask us.
At least they asked you, like, that's good. That's what I try and tell everybody. Like, I'm here, I'm around, like, just let me know.
Yeah. Do you get hate comments, like controversial, like on certain products, like textured nail, or have you trained your followers well?
I really don't.
Okay.
I only got like one, and I loved it. And no, I've gotten a couple little tiny things, but they really weren't bad. And they were just like nice before the gold part, or something like that. It wasn't like horrible, but I feel like those negative comments boosted that post. Like, so I'm like all for it. I'm like, yeah, bring it. Like, it's fine if you don't like it. I don't care. But
that's exactly what I say.
Yeah,
it's all
I don't
engagement.
care.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, just trying to show this gel, like, that's all I'm trying to do. But I really don't care if someone doesn't like it. That's fine. Yeah. You can't like everything.
I've been like, I jokingly said that like my textured nail, I was like, part 7 controversial nail products. And people were like, where's part 1 through 6? And I was like, it was a joke. I was like, part 1 through 6 are all the crackle nail videos that I've did. Like, those are also controversial.
Yeah. I remember those back in the day.
Yeah. But those, like, these controversial nail products, I feel like have been doing well just because of all these commenters being like, oh, I hate it. But I found that, like, if I can convert them, like the textured nails, a lot of people were like, oh, I hated it at first. But then when you were like, oh, Chanel tweed and like actually made it cute, people were like, wait a minute, like, I'm conflicted. Like, I like this now. Like, what's happening?
Yeah.
So I like being able to like,
It's interesting. And like, I just, you can use that kind of thing in different ways. So that's what I try and show people too. Like, while a textured gel is perfect for tweed, if you don't want a full textured gel now, then add some of that texture to your Santa's beard. And
I
you
just
instantly
watched your video on this.
Yeah, so like that's another way to use it. That's a rejuvenated old reel because like it's still a great way to use texture gel. I mean, and it was Santa from Rudolph, so like perfect.
Amazing. Do you have other controversial nail products? Do you recommend that I should tease people with?
I'm gonna have to think about that one. What is a love hate? I don't know. I'm pretty much in love with everything that
Yeah. I feel like you probably have nice
Yeah.
commenters. I think I don't know how I ended up with all the people that probably because I entertain it. I like give back a sassy response and put it on my story. So I'm like, I think I'm kind of asking for the
Oh, I always reply, and it's something
Okay.
usually so nice, and then they're like, "You seem nice. Now I feel bad." I'm like, "Don't feel bad. You saw it. You actually didn't like it. You actually took the time to comment, which most people don't, like, right? So
Yeah.
I'm glad you did. Thanks." Like, but what was that one? I can't remember, but they wrote something very funny, and it did make me laugh out loud when they said it. I can't even remember what it was, but it was something like what it reminded them of or something, and it was like just awful. And I was like, "Oh, okay." And then I looked at the nail, and I'm like, I can kind of see that, like with the color or whatever, you know.
Yeah, I had
So
like I did like a crackle nail polish, but I put a green jelly over it as like a crocodile nail, which like I think it looks really good. But then I guess people didn't realize that I was doing crocodile. So they're like, it looks like Shrek toe or like stub your toe and
right, like something like that.
fungus.
I
Yeah.
have a green, like an alcohol ink, and people were like, "Looks like a pickle." I'm like, "It does look like pickle green," you know. Like,
Yeah.
they were right. Like, who doesn't need
like,
a pickle marble? Like, right? Yeah, why
I'm
not?
like, it does look like Shrek like pooped this out. Like that is what it looks like. But I also
You're not
like
wrong.
it. I like it. But so you said you also have your subscription, which I don't have, which I'm like also fascinated about that in general, and also going live. I watched a lot of your lives in the beginning too. I remember you used to go live a lot, and I was always entertained by your live, which is not an easy thing to do. I think going live is a hard thing to do. So also interested in hearing if you have any tips for going live and doing nail art, because you're juggling a lot of things on a live. I think like painting the nails, reading the comments, doing the thing, like all the things. It's not easy.
I feel like I could still get better at reading those comments. I have two phones, you know, like, so I just use, and I guess you can't really see it, but it's back there, the Archon mount.
Okay.
So I use that for the filming phone, and then the iPad thing I put down the bottom usually, and I read from that. So that I usually do.
And then you're just on a different
I
account
actually use
watching
my,
your live?
yeah, like a private account of mine. Like, so it's just Inspo by Nails classes, which occasionally I put classes up. Like, I'm not very good at that. So, but at the same time, that way I'm still on there, but I can read everybody at real time.
That's a good tip, actually. I remember one time I made like abe.face or abe.nailface or something. And then I went live with my account, but also the face account. So then I had my one of the face, but then one of mine, it was just like such a headache. I never did it again.
No, I just try and do it often so that I'm comfortable doing it. I think that's just it. You know, people just have to start, and the more you do it, the more comfortable you'll get in your own flow of it. Like Shen, she's really great. She goes every Wednesday, like for like 30 minutes. You're going to see her on there. Like, she's incredible. She knows everyone's name. Like, I don't know anybody's name. Like, I know this many names. Like, I don't know, you know, like, but I think she's so good. But I think that's it. You know, the more you're doing it, the more it's just not a big deal, right?
The consistency of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it also, speaking of TikTok before, I feel like you would be good on TikTok live. People go live on TikTok.
I have 10 followers. I can't go live over there.
When you scroll TikTok, it'll put in lives every so often. So even if you have 10 followers on TikTok, you'll get other people just randomly in there. It won't just go to your followers.
I don't think you can go live there unless you have 1,000.
Oh, is that true?
Yeah.
Oh, whoops.
So
no, you have 1,000. You have 1,000. I just looked. You have like 1,300
or something.
1,300. 1,300.
No.
Yeah.
I do not.
Oh no, you only have 100. Sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say I do not. I have like 10.
You have 130.
I mean, that's 10 to me.
I'll cut that.
I mean, it's kind of funny. You could leave it in if you want. I really try and not look at numbers.
Yeah, same.
I really, really try to not look at that because some days I would get very depressed about it. Like when the algorithm's up and down, the way I look at Instagram and these platforms are, they're free. I'm not paying anything to be on there. I'm getting to do what I love. I'm getting to share what I love to do. So I'm grateful for it. Whether something has 2 views or 2 million views, it's the same to me. Like I try not to get caught up in that because that's stuff I can't control, So yeah.
And I think also I was talking to Parab Beauty and she was saying like, if 1-2 people can get value out of my content, like that is a success.
You reach someone.
Yeah.
Like that's amazing, know, by just simply putting something up. So yeah, that is a bigger picture and a great way to look at it, especially if people are sad about not getting enough views or whatever. Just think of it that way. Yeah. You shared it with a friend, somebody loved it. How great is that?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So then also the subscription, how does this work? People, it's like a monthly thing. I guess that's just how subscriptions work. I'm like, how do you computer? How do you subscription?
Like I do it over because I just want to be able to share with the people who want to learn from me on a little bit more frequent basis and a little bit more one-on-one basis. So my subscriber group is people who have probably followed me for a while. They like what I do. And so we communicate about stuff all week, like this is coming up or this is coming up. And then I'll go live at least once a week to do a look that they loved in a brief reel, and I'll show them how to do it in real time. And sometimes I go live for everyone that way, and then I just save it for my subscribers. So if you missed it, the only way you get to see it is if you're, a subscriber. Mm-hmm. And I don't have mine very high. I want it to be reasonable for people. I think it's hard right now for people to do a reoccurring charge. Yeah, it's just like little classes from me on Instagram. Because it was built in, they asked, would you like to do a subscription? So I was like, sure. So I just try anything new that they throw out there. I do give a try, and I haven't gotten rid of it yet. So yeah,
I think it does make more sense for a tutorial or like a nail art to have that. Because like you said, it's not this 10-second reel. Like you're not going to explain this, and that's not necessarily going to be this viral mass market if you have like an hour-long tutorial. Like that's not what it's meant. So then having that separate section for a longer tutorial who people actually want to know and actually care,
right?
It's nice to have that. Yeah
And it's a way for me to do those little tiny tips and talk to them about it. They don't even need to be live when I'm doing it because I get to save it for them, which is awesome. Like that they have access to it. I think I have probably at least 100 lives in there now. So there's everything under the sun in there that they have access to, and they can go through it when they have time to go through it or want to go through it. Mm-hmm. That's nice.
Do you have any, I don't know how to say this without being like, do you have any plans for the future? Like, do you?
No.
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 Then I won't ask it. Which also, if people ask me that, I'd be like, I don't know. I'm just doing what I'm doing. Like, that's a hard question.
I'm kind of the same way. I feel like things have a way of happening for a reason. Things happen for a reason. And I'm not all like, I don't know, hippy dippy like that, like in a certain way. Like, that's not me. But at the same time, I do feel like things do happen for a reason. And so I don't try and project anything too big in the future. I want to continue to do what I love. If I'm fortunate enough to do that, great. I'd like to continue to grow. I'd like to continue to help more people. And we'll see what winds up happening. If it seems like a good fit for me, I'm ready to explore it, that kind of thing. So I'm open-minded, but not precise on that answer.
I think that is the best way to be, because you're like setting a goal of like, I want to help more people. I want to expand my page. Like, that doesn't mean that I have to make a course or have to make a whatever in-person salon. And it's like, no, it's like, what's my goal? Go back to my goal. It's to help people learn and explore my page. Like, that is the goal. And like anything, if that doesn't serve me and my goals, then I don't need it.
Right. And I think things happen like that. Like, I don't know. Did you know that I'm working with Chloe in the Press On Academy?
No.
I am.
Oh.
So I'm an educator for her. So that is something new.
Can you give a brief overview of what this is for people who don't know?
So By Chloe has a press on nail academy. And with a monthly membership, she has all of the advice of how she started her press on business, right? So she's very open with all her business knowledge and saves people time by saying, oh, I tried this, that didn't work. And step by step, she has an incredible platform over there. So I joined her to start teaching her subscribers nail art once a week. So I go on live for her people and kind of my people now too. And we do nail art looks to further the academy in that area. So I'm sure she'll probably have other people join too. But yeah, that's what I mean. It's a new opportunity. It feels like a good fit to me. I love her. I think she's I admire how hard she works. And I want to be associated with doing that with her. So that's a yes for me, so that's the kind of thing that I'm always open to new opportunities.
Cool. Okay. I'll put obviously all the links for that down below if people are interested.
Yeah. And I have a link, which would show that I mentioned it. That'd be awesome.
Okay. Yes, definitely. Do you work, do you, tongue tie. So do you work with other brands for creating content for them? If there's...
Yeah, I am a brand ambassador for Zilla Beauty and Sweetie Nail Supply.
Okay, so what does this mean?
So that does mean I have a code and I do monetize when people use my code to purchase products.
Okay.
And I love their products, so I do enjoy being a brand ambassador with those companies. It is a lot of work. I know a lot of people say, oh, I wish I was doing that. Well, it is a lot of work. You really do need to meet the needs of and I take it very seriously. So if something is sent to me, and let's say it's a new release, it really doesn't benefit them if I show it 2 months later. So I drop everything that I'm doing. I open that package. I show something with it immediately because it's a new release and that's what they're promoting. So, there is a lot involved with it, but I think with the right companies, yeah, it's really fun sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah. If you can find that fit with the right company and the nice people and it's a good relationship, then I think it makes sense. I think also when I hear about brand ambassadorships, it's just people don't realize what it is and they'll just be a brand ambassador for this one and this one. And they don't actually see if it's a good fit for them and their community. So just for people thinking about this. Yeah.
I agree with that. And the ones that I am working with, this very small group of us, so there's people that have affiliate codes, but they're not a Zilla Beauty Muse or they're not a Sweetie's brand ambassador. So there is a difference between the two. And with the brand ambassadorship, you are basically agreeing to certain things when you'll post them, et cetera, and minimal requirements, right? Yeah. So that's something for people to recognize too. And sometimes they open applications for them. And, if you want to try it, absolutely apply, but I would suggest people are actually using their brands. They purchase their brands. It's already on their page, that's a good idea. Be familiar with what they sell.
Yeah.
And those companies offer a lot because they're importers. So they offer all kinds of different brands in their shops. So when you go and look at these Korean products, you'll be like, wait, what? Because they're very nice and they're very expensive. But, it is a job. Yeah, it is a job.
Well, I think that's the trade-off. As long as because some products, I get lots of free products.
Right.
But not all of them have an affiliate code linked to it. So not necessarily, not that it's about making money off of this, obviously, but it's just interesting for people who are full-time creators. This is an avenue for making income. But I guess as long as people are aware of the requirements and what they're getting into, then it's fine. I don't know. What am I saying?
I don't know. I feel like there is, this does need to be talked about a little bit more because I do feel like if you're someone like me, I take it seriously. So for me, it is a lot of time spent creating content. So yeah, there's ups and downs to it. If you have the free time and you love it and it doesn't feel like work, maybe it's something that you'd really enjoy. if you are counting every second of your day and you don't have time, it's going to be too much work for you to enjoy it. And you're going to start feeling resentful of having those requirements to do those things. So, yeah, but it is an additional income. If you have the time to do it and you have the following to see it, and, that's true. So, if someone has 200 followers, not many people are going to see their code. And it's hard to pimp your code out all the time. Like, I have a very hard time doing that, but I need to sometimes. And I appreciate people that use it, because to me, it's them recognizing the work I put into showing them these products. Like, that is exactly what it is. Thanks, Lauren. It's a thank you to me. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think also, and I feel the same way. And sometimes I feel weird about like, use my code. But it's also like, here's a discount code, or like, here's the this is for you too. And like you said too, like, if you found it through me, like, use my link and then we're all happy. You're not going to spend more money. Like, it's still, and then it helps me too. So I guess
it's tricky.
Yeah.
Not an easy answer to that one. I don't
know. And I think that's like also why it is good to talk about it.
It is.
I don't know. I still sometimes feel weird about brand ambassadorships because you're not really getting any compensation other than the affiliate link, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then there are requirements. But what if no one buys through your link? Then you're not making anything and you did all that work. So
Definitely true. So there needs to be a benefit to receiving those products for you in another way, whether you're a working nail tech or, you see clients, because then you didn't have to spend that $200 for that collection. Right. That still benefits you. So, I think so.
Whereas obviously these are personal decisions for everybody and people can make what they want to do. And then, but like for me personally, I don't do a brand ambassadorship with requirements because I have 3,000 bottles of nail polish. Like, the polish itself is not valuable to me at this point. Whereas like the content that I'm putting out is valuable. Like, that exposure is something that other brands will pay for people to do. So no matter if I make a sale or not, like, just having that exposure, like, there's some marketing thing, right? It's like 10 impressions before people actually make a sale. So anyway, it's just
I think you're right. And then there's a lot of brands that I don't have codes for.
Right.
I mean, would I help show something for them because I like the person, I like the company? Sure. But there's no requirements on me to do so, that kind of thing. So I think you have to just kind of weigh it and see how it goes. But I'm to the point too where I sometimes think about like, some of this is valuable, so yeah.
I think it's just good to be aware and I feel like now it's making me seem like I only care. It's like 90% of my posts are just me having fun, enjoying. I don't have a link. I'm not making anything. Like, I don't even know how much affiliate income I have. It's like literally nothing.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I know, I hear you. And it's not about that either. Like, you do have to be particular. I mean, I know people that have like 2 pages of link codes. To me, that's just a jumble, I don't know. If you are going to do it, you need to really love what your code is for, I think.
I think that
comes through,
I think that is true. Picking the ones who actually align with your page, with your community.
What you
and then
do.
It makes sense.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
then
it does make sense. Yeah. Because you're using it anyway. You love it anyway. It's good to be picky in that area, I think.
Right. Yeah. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just the behind the scenes things. I feel like the podcast is me to be like the water cooler where I'm like, my coworkers, I'm like, I don't have other instances where I can be like, hey, what do you think about this? Like, this is our time to.
Perfect.
Yeah.
It's true. We're working solo 90% of the time. So this is good to have a chat.
Yeah. It was funny. I was in New York and I was with NailBabePod. And some guy at the bar was like, oh, where do you guys work? And I think we were like, oh, yeah, we work together or something, like just joking. And he's like, where do you work? And I was like, oh, we work for Meta. I was like, we work for Meta. Like, we do, actually. Like, all of our time is for Meta. Anyway.
Yeah. Yep. And they're like, really?
Yeah.
But that is kind of true. I do too. Yeah. Let's have a party.
All the employees. I'm like, where's my holiday gift? Meta.
we'll have our less than creator party. Like we should do it ourselves. Like, so we weren't invited by Meta, but we could still like have our own.
We should.
We're the middle tier.
Yeah. We need something from Meta. Jeez. They turn off all these programs to like, anyway, the creator programs that like try to like pay us. I never even got when it was like in full swing. I didn't
bonuses, etc.
Yeah, I never got the bonus.
Oh,
and that was like when I was like going viral a lot too. So like I feel like I could have hit a lot of.
Yeah, you would have. Yep, you would have. Oh, well. That's probably why they shut it down.
That's what I'm like. They would have to pay me too much.
Now they're bringing it back, but I don't know who's getting it. It's not me.
Yeah, exactly. Well, anyway, I want to thank you again for being here. Everyone, please follow Inspo by Nails if you're not already. Really great nail art tutorials and all the things, all this fun Korean gel and techniques. Great place.
Thank you for having me. Really, I'm excited to be a nail babe. Thanks.
Exactly. You are my nail babe.
Yeah, I'm really appreciative of that. Thanks for even thinking of me, and I'm glad to have talked to you today.
Me too. Thank you.
Yay.
Okay.
Bye. See ya.
Okay. I'm going to leave Lauren Inspo by Nails Instagram down below, as well as some of the links for the products that she's mentioning. And now for some comments. Britz Nails says, love this app. Thank you. Bilo.nail says, loved this episode. This is on the Shan Clawgasmic episode. Both podcasts are part of the nail content routine now. We love that. Yeah, let me know if you have any routine around NailBabePod. Do you listen to it while you paint your nails? I feel like I always listen to podcasts when I drive. I do actually listen to podcasts while I'm painting my nails because I can't watch something while also paying attention to my nails. And pay attention. I need a podcast. So let me know if that's what you do too. And I will see you next week.